of October 2021. Like always, we always get today a very impactful. We get plenty big people in the country and also people in the media and for come talk to it. With me tonight, I get me co-host in the journey all the way from the UK, Antikadi Johnson Cole. Before I go any further, I will ask him for to introduce himself and then we're going to introduce the guest that we'll get for the night. Over to you, Antikadi.
Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever una day.
Thank you very much, Atikari, and also the one late, so I'll bring you guests in.
Yeah.
Tonight we get we honor you with the general way man way understands in this spokesman for the APC party right now on the Tunis. If you come in and introduce himself and say Famula Madu.
Una morning, una good evening, una good afternoon. Mina Sidi Yayah, Tunis, acting National Publicity Secretary, All People's Congress APC.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Tunis. And following in the journey all the way from Sierra Leone, and we know say a very very late time about it. So again, just for patriotism and make people that already stay up late for January, and also we board our way in. We know say a political analyst and a top social media man. Mr. Aiah Thomas with the journey all the way from Australia. We know say down on direct now very, very early in the morning. So I'm asking what I'll go into this himself.
Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, wherever you may be. Thank you so much, Aiah Thomas. I'm very happy to be here on VOS, the family program, and thanks for having me.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aiah Thomas. And also we honorable and I'm not saying a possible way anybody with the Salone in and out of Salone. If you're not saying a possible way, and not somebody that shy away from anything for the Salone business. I was saying my own brother, Mr. Mustafa by Atilla. Introduce yourself to family. Listen, I'm my boss. I will say, boss, introduce yourself to my family.
And that makes up a Jamie dinner because of you. Family, how do you? I'm Mustafa by Atilla. And Mina the PRO for the SLPP Maryland chapter and the patron of the SLPP. Also, I do well.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Atilla. A funny way people see the poster, I don't get so many feedback from people that say they don't know see the sugar for the thing. So like always, we will give family waiting the one for Yayah and waiting the need for Yayah. It's not two different things. We're not there for sugar coat nothing. We're there for talk about waiting. We know say we push Salone forward. And the people are there with me tonight. Now the main people are the way they get deep for make sure say they stand before for tell you what's going to go on. So we go start the program now because we ask again technical issues that sometimes can make we run late. So make I go start with Mr. Yayah Tunis. We're not the spokesman for the APC party. We just understand say they just conclude the by-election at Kabbalah. And from what we say small misunderstanding they go on. If you go a brief history of waiting on our own perspective from the APC side, in within like at least 3 to 5 minutes about what say happen at Kabbalah and what's they go on right now at the moment.
Thank you very much. As you rightly say, we just conclude by-election, in fact, 2. We have in Kwenadugu district at the same time, one before the district council chairman election, and also we beget another council election we have in our ward 155. And even before the polling day, a lot of things happen. We're not being all go well for democracy. We see a lot of influx of people we not be supposed for there on the ground. We see attacks on personalities, police fire tear gas into compounds of people na APC member, one notable one, Dr. S.S. Mara. And on polling day, election go on fine, people vote. And during the voting, some cars happen, talks, then go burn, one particular station, all the voting materials and everything. But in the midst of all of that, voting happened. And we come to tallying of the votes. During the tally process itself, we get a particular staff, a next staff, we repeatedly, on 4 different occasions, try for enter figure we SFPP not get. Like for instance, in the first place, he enter figure na one particular station, we SFPP get 069. When in the enter the figure, he enter 169. So he give them 100 extra votes we they don't get. But because we been get with RRFs, when at the reconciliation and report forms, we'll be able to pick them up and we'll bring them to the attention of them, the senior membership, and then SSF agree with we, them correct the mistakes. They do a 410. So because they repeatedly they do, and we ask that they change them. So for giving credit, the Commissioner Edmond Alpha agree for change this particular staff. But the second staff we bring in, we not be satisfied with them because this is somebody we already don't engage in similar action at Tonkoliba. We now all go recall what happened at Tonkoliba. We, because of the malpractices, it lead to even death. So we tell and say, let them change that person there as well so that everybody could be satisfied. So in the process of them doing that, some SFPP guys and grab themselves, say they don't agree, they first suspend the whole tallying process. We been lead for them for suspend everything and move them to Freetown. We come to Freetown, they say now 5 representatives for the tallying center. Now we're linking when I didn't get the data center. So then do the tally for the entire district council chairmanship and they're able to give the results. In the process of tallying the ward results, the same thing happened. Our next staff by the name of Paul Damba, while they enter, one station, they were SFPP get 049. They go enter 149. Then APC bin get 89 at that particular center. They enter the 89. So that tilts the result and we pick them up again. We bring them to their attention, say, look, these staff don't do the same thing on the ward election. Look within the RRF from the field say, we get their own signature and everything. And then cross-check, then see say again, we correct. But what did they do this time? Unlike what did they do na the tally na Kwena, they refuse for change the figure. For whatever reason, we insist that, look, when I don't cross-check, when I don't admit, say yes, it is correct, why would I want still go ahead and announce or produce the results as it is, even when we don't pick out this malpractice? Then just ignore we do it they want for do. So in the process, the one that we represent, we then work out. When you even see the results, the progression of the results, you go find out, see, all of the stations where they enter, that's not the only station where record more than 100 votes for the Israeli People's Party. All other stations now that ward they below 100. And that only happened because this man entered 149 instead of 049. So because they ignore we, and we know say we get the evidence and we show them the evidence and then SSF admit, but then still go ahead and produce the results as they want for. We see that and they say a blatant election malpractice will be well calculated and not good for a democracy if we let them go. So as a party, we don't decide for take the evidence go court and we will prove we case in court and let we see what in the court will say.
All right. Well, thank you very much for that brief one, Mr. Tunis. I believe say most other people don't understand what happened. We can act on now to Mr. Atilla because I think I know they represent the SFPP in American Aiah, and then the young from even though you know they on the ground, but no say you get your first-hand information from young people as well. So, Mr. Atilla, over to you, sir. What's in a you take about the election of Kabbalah and what you feel say happen? And Mr. Tunis don't say. Then get some few information and say, and even evidence say, some people that support on our party, try for cause malpractice and the place stay, and even one of the guys that even let them go, but then we for eventually end up a go court. So what's in your take, sir?
Well, first of all, a happy way Mr. Tunis, now I have respect for we say then they go court. Because we were always in APC, then one of the spokesmen in Holland, they call for the killing of the councillor. And that would be the worldwide. Say if the councillor go to the world, they will kill him. It's clear for everybody to hear. So I'm happy that he has taken that route. And I really hope that reflects the APC. Now, they're not waiting I feel say happen. I'm waiting I know say happen. I am informed. Me now is CEO of the People's Network, and also I have agents on the ground who are there. We go agree for disagree with Mr. Tunis say was a little bit economical with the truth, because APC win elections anyway, but in that particular ward, Pam would not listen to me. SLP had the majority, and instead say then bring complaint where they admit say yes, this person they do bad things, so no change that. But the other complaint people, because it was not a valid complaint. Me don't know any, and I don't know the evidence when get for sure say people admit, because I've spoken to people at NEC. In fact, what me know is that the IT unit is dominated by APC people. And one of them had caused the confusion. Me refuse to call the names in my program, even though I get all their names then. I refuse to call their names because I want to give them time for knowing what they do. And including somebody they, okay, I don't call the department of NEC, but the point I'm making is they don't agree to one of our complaints. You can't go pushing the goalpost as soon as you will not green and far even way beyond that. Now the risk where this election posed to the people of Sierra Leone. When I go say Atilla, you know they see them. But when they see the toggle clearly displayed by APC supporters. Clearly, one guy we call himself Ali Conte, is saying a Soko Bana and the MCs for the chief of the Soko Bana them, a guy who has made several inflammatory statements. Even at the APC convention, say Ingo order the Banikade. But we the one that way Aiah for the Sankwe, we get this the market, nobody ordered them for challenging. He said go order them for challenging the police, and he was there in Kabbalah. Mayor Ibon Akisoya. The APC the Allah say minister they go waiting Ibon Akisoya go do na Kabbalah. You know to mayor of Kabbalah. Waiting Samuel Kamara go do na Kabbalah. And others we go there. So this all now waiting APC they do for create problems over and over and over. But I'm glad we APC don't resort to the courts, because we know say APC in a party, and I was there. Not to respect courts, because remember the former vice president Sam Sumana sent them go to ECOWAS spot, and they were found wanting. Then Joseph Fitzgerald Camara say, you know, listen to them, because Salone is sovereign state. So the point I'm making back to this Kabbalah election, from what I heard and what I know happened there, what I know happened there was that they complained, like where he said, say yes, they found out that the election official was wrong in that institution, but the other side where they go complain, say they don't wrong there, it was not cheating at all. The investigator, that made them reject them. But if SLP people are wrong this election, why did not wrong the entire? Why did not wrong them? Let people stop her. I want to say, well, with the council, look, we all know Mugabe win elections in 2008 against Morgan Stanley, right? All man know that. We all know African elections go. Everybody knows that it's really, these are the only government where they have power, APC win elections. Let them show me how many by elections SLP will win APC win power. What will be there? How many of them? You can count on your one hand. But anytime APC lose, like football team with well, when they lost game, now they feel they blame. Or they blame the player that's in a sell game. That has been happening everywhere. Because APC not a party where prone to admitting defeat. So for me, Mr. Tawali, what happened at Kabbalah, as we say, it was unfortunate. I mean, that people in life, especially when I hear them kill, in Holland, they say, may they kill the councillor. All my hear I say, councillor go there for killer. Of course, we know saying a bragados, because you know that perhaps said many things like that. Not like that not happen. But the point that they make is that those kind of talks are not good, because let me tell you what's going to happen. Sooner rather than later, people not going to tolerate talk again from APC. And this is a fact, because I'm well informed. Whether people agree with me or they say, I'm a patron of the SLPP. I'm a patron of SLPP now, and I'm a PR of one chapter. All right? Sooner rather than later, people will start resisting because law will get transparency by election. Law will get real people and voting. But what happened in Kabbalah that day with the thuggery, wanting destruction of property, beating of people when SLPP, people inside Motoka, it was awful, it was bad. So me not say what Mr. Tunis say, no, there no merit to. All I'm saying is the one side they were backed and they uphold their complaints. But the second one, they were absolutely wrong. I made them reject them.
Thank you very much, Mr. Atilla. I believe Mr. Tunis could come in. Mala just touched to Mr. Thomas. Then I'll come back to Mr. Tunis. You can also not to go back and forth for higher and out, which is a good thing. Where we need the truth out. We need follow the debate here so that in the future we will prevent them here. So Mr. Yayah Thomas, I know seeing one of the fierce commentators on social media, and people sometimes you see as a very controversial man because today go hit here, tomorrow hit the other side, others, and something whenever you know how you did. In terms of this TOF na Kabbalah, I know you said we don't put few things out on social media. What do you feel say the cause and here na Salone, because we get big election that come out pretty soon, maybe in the next 2 to 3 years. How you feel? What do you feel say the cause and how you feel so we be able to mitigate them here for at least minimize them here going forward?
I feel say what's they cause this kind of fracas and misunderstanding and confusion and chaos. Now, the lack of respect for due processes, because now they start. If the processes are transparent, the processes are fair and just, that are the beginning for ensure peace. Now the beginning for ensure that compliance to whatever authorities on the ground. But if the processes are dubious in any way, if people feel disenfranchised in any way, in terms of the people who only run the processes, then the problem starts from there. But also there's a lot of, how do I put it in a civil manner? There's a lot of ignorance in our community. And I'm not saying this because I'm where I am. I'm saying this as a Sierra Leonean. We are all ignorant to an extent. I believe that, when you watch some of the videos, how people in the parade themselves, you watch some of the videos leading to the elections. I'm not talking about the election yet. Leading to the elections, you watch the social media threats where they come from both sides. You know that this is a recipe for a disaster. Something horrible going to happen there. You watch the threats that are made from both sides. You know that disaster, this is just a time bomb we're going to explode. So there's a lot of factors for consider. I will not single out the ruling party or the opposition because they are both parties, then soil their hands. Both parties, they get a stake in all the mishaps in Kwenadugu district. But what I really want to draw attention to now, the fact that nobody can deny the fact that Kwenadugu district now the stronghold for the opposition party APC, sorry. Nobody can deny that fact. You understand? So when you get a by-election being conducted now the stronghold of the opposition, and then you get ruling government, we want to get a stake in that part. It becomes a fight of authority, a fight for supremacy, and so on. But at the end of the day, we need to recognize that the last saying comes from the people. Only the people can give a mandate to any political party or candidates in the elections. But let me say this. I have been following through, and obviously I have a lot of people who send information through to him, but I've been watching news and so on as well and gathering information. In terms of the district council elections within whole, you see that the election relatively was peaceful. During the course of the elections, they were relatively peaceful. And when you listen to Mr. Tunis, he also said that there were no issues during the elections. You understand? During the election. I'm not saying before the election. I am not saying after the election. But during the election, it was relatively peaceful. Compared to what happens in other by-elections, like people nearly got killed. It was relatively peaceful. The the fracas occur before the elections and after the election. That is why on the day of the election, the talent will not be able, they'll not be able to go every time. You understand? Now the community center and Kabbalah, they don't be able to go every time. Then reschedule, say they go Taliam. The following day on the Sunday, then go there for go now the community center, they go there for go tally the elections. Confusion, Kuskas commode again. Then the NEC officials then back up, they say, okay, we cannot do this. You understand? We will try to redo this on Monday. On Monday again, they couldn't do it. So there's a lot of disturbance, a lot of misunderstanding will go on. But by and large, the fact that the NEC acknowledged that there were there was unacceptable conduct of some electoral officials. NEC acknowledged this, and I know my brother Mustafa Atilla will knows that. You understand? We're already there. We know that NEC acknowledged anomalies in elections. NEC acknowledged misrepresentation. NEC also acknowledged errors that occurred as a result of polling officials then actions. You understand? And they make decision that was in favor of the opposition party when at the APC. You understand? They've made those callings in favor of that. But at the end of the day, we say APC then gets the chairmanship, then SLPP get the award. You understand? Which is really questionable. To me, to be honest, it is a questionable result. Me, I've been facing a flawless result it will be for APC. But you also have to realize that people in Koinadugu district, some people are aggrieved based on the 2017 APC convention that was held. You understand? In Port Local, I believe, people were aggrieved when certain members, somebody was selected over there are other people, over 40 other candidates. You have to acknowledge that. This is not only APC, SLP. These are APC issues. There are people that were aggrieved, genuinely aggrieved. And those people, the party not really reach out to them yet, as far as what we can see. So you can't rule out the fact that there can still be people who are still hurt from decisions that were made in 2017. And they're still holding to it. And their vote is the only way that they will protest. You can't hold on. You can't deny that fact. You understand? APC lost election in 2018. It's not only because of President Bio popularity or anything like that. It is one of the major contributing factor is because of the way the 2017 conference the conference and the way the decisions that they made there. You understand? Selections that were made there. People felt disenfranchised, so they boycotted it. So what I'm trying to say, which I try to say is that it is important for all parties for respect due processes and follow the law. APC then get right for protest. Yeah, they've now decided to protest, and I think the IG should allow them to exercise the democratic right to protest decisions that they don't agree with. But also, APC should follow up and go through the court system for make sure, say, they will plead their case. Obviously, they don't put 9 members that they earn, so members of parliament that they earn, that's not commodity. So you don't expect much to come out of that kangaroo court. But it's just to see the process through that is important for them to do. So by and large, this is my position, and I think there's a lot of people that wouldn't hold up their bagging, their responsibility, and the lack of integrity, and all of this accumulated together don't result into the chaos what we see today on a national level. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yapi. That was a good hit hand. I would say that was a good analysis in try to diagnose some of the problems they would face. So I'm going to now over to Nicole, who's Kadi Johnson Cole, and also you'll get some few questions or follow up from what we get and also so far. Over to you, man.
I want to ask Mr. Tunis, because Mr. Tunis, from what we read the social media, now you know more for clarifying for we because I guess you be dead because they tell me something about how they change voting numbers. Is it like result come out with one maybe 40 or 69 or something, and put one day, make it 100 and something. You know what they talk about, you get me? I'm not going to say exactly, precisely what it was, you see, but something like that happened with the in social media. You see, then they talk something, but somebody when them, I don't know if not Paul Dam or something, you see, where we don't do something like that before. I just want to clarify that for me first. Then it will put me in the position for say something. I just want to clarify that happened or it does happen. If it happened, yeah, explain to me how it come about. You understand? And then talk like for say where something like say whether it was Richard Conte or Kalfara Mara were in there and stopped the elections, something like that. Just clarify that for me also. Then people they know more they talk to me on social media. You see, because some of we want to say something, but we like for say things the way we say it. You see, the way we understand it. So if you can clarify that for we, Mr. Tunis, that would be okay. That would be highly appreciated. Then I can say.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's exactly with contention. And in fact, you know, even before we come Freetown, now the thing that they way they also try for do 410, where we catch them 410 because of the information we can get on the RRF, we make they're not able to succeed. And this now being when the challenge they happen for the district council chairmanship in Kwenadugu, we make the Kuska start, we then decide for Camp Freetown. Indeed, in Freetown, after they don't tally all the district council chairmanship election, they don't done with that. When we come to the ward, when then they don't enter almost everything. That last one, when at 049, then go put 149. And you find out, say, the SFP candidate win by 7 votes because 100 extra votes was given to him that the people did not vote for. And we pick him up, we raise her. Look, what did they try for saying Aiah as the spokesperson of the main opposition? I don't care for do propaganda for APC or for make this particular matter a matter between APC and the SLPP. No. We not get not to SLPP with a complaint Aiah. Now the Electoral Commission, and we do this for a very good reason. Whatever Mr. Atilla they say, SLPP never win by election during APC, the records are there. I don't need for going to that. Everybody knows say SLPP wins several by-elections, especially in the strongholds in the southeast, where APC never full say pass them win. But that is not why we're here. So I'm not going to go into that because I don't want for let we water down this issue as an issue between the SLPP and the APC. No, this is now an issue between the APC and the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone. Because we, the APC, we catch them on blatant electoral fraud. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, 4, 5 times. We catch them on blatant electoral fraud and we prove them and they admit and then change the stuff. And the records, they still there with we go prove say we catch them by elections fraud. And this worrisome because we know they too far into the 2023 election. As political parties, me with Sidonia, they attend PPLC meeting at NEC regularly. And this particular new leadership of NEC don't conduct election in several other areas there. We political parties don't commend them before. So for that we can see, then step begin for involved in acts like this, where the predecessor also been they do, a worrisome for we because we, the CMC, this not all go well for we Democrats. And this go dampen the spirit of the people and who they encourage for involved in democratic process. Look, every day or every time elections they come up, when they ask the populace for get involved, you know, when they ask them for votes, then they wake up very early in the morning. Some people, they walk 7 miles for access the polling centers. Then they team up line all day, older women, ageable women. people with disabilities, they team up all day for votes. And when they vote, we want to steal away their vote because we want a particular party for win power. That is unacceptable for some of we. This has nothing to do with which political party we belong to. Just the act in itself, not correct. Then people anyway were involved in their fraud there. By now they're supposed to be jail because the laws are clear on electoral fraud and electoral malpractices. And so foresee the one that we don't entrust with the responsibility for conduct elections, free, fair, and credible elections, they involved in elections malpractice, wrong. I mean, few weeks ago, we just conclude electoral reform on the National Elections Commission. And in the process, we don't do research. Us, the MGC, we raise this issue. When we look at the current composition of NEC, we raise the issue that out of 16 district elections managers, now only one out of 16 went not to Southeasterners. The rest of them now Southeasterners. And when we raise the issue, next day, not to by region, now by competence. But we don't raise that red flag because we be no say, then kind of things they also get the potential for happening. If you get an institution, we're so regionally skewed to one area. We're not so for say, they don't get people from other areas. But this is deliberate and we raise them and we be no say, then kind issues they are going to come up. If not to be with vigilance, even the district council chairmanship, now where sometimes the gap so wide that they're not able to tilt the result. But for let me teach somebody they try for change figure 4 times, it will tell you, say, even there be one for steal and away from the people. So for us, this is not an issue of SLPP, APC. This is for us, all of us, Australian, whether you're in SLPP, you should also be worried that your electoral commission will try for do blatant malpractice for steal away the votes of the people of this country in favor of one political party. That is unacceptable, and that now we are in position.
Okay, so now I can say with you, I want to say, if in terms of these elections, as we all know, say, that placed in a very strong hold of the APC, just like the older similar elections like that in Bo or somewhere in Canada, it will be a stronghold for the SLPP. You see, so what I'm not able to understand here is this. If they don't catch somebody, bam, and they do UK 4 times. So what is next saying? What did Mr. Kone say? Because this, it shows say Mr. Kone get a problem. Because Mr. Kone should take full responsibility of what did happen. Because I remember, I'm not in Sierra Leone, but when Mr. Kone came into position, Mr. Kone make a statement say, when he come, he believe in integrity. In integrity, he want for making it intact. He come for work for Sierra Leone and for everything, not just one political party. But what is happening here now is as if Mr. Kone is going back on what he said some time ago. Because it's such a thing now, they consider here so it resign. The mere fact that boku thing also don't happen. When I don't get una column RRF form or something, then because I read it, they get some 3 dots, then people they put numbers and all that. How is this possible? That means Mr. Kone not do a work fine. How is this possible? Because if it's possible, and this is somebody, as I understand it today, this is somebody where you don't do Josephine Jackson in constituency. You get me? You see? I understand because they follow Josephine Jackson in a lot, you see, so we know about that. This same person do one, and this same person is still there. Why are they keeping him there? That alone for make them not doubt within the APC, they say. They're not for doubt them. Because they don't catch this person before he don't do it before. This is not the first time. And you do it now. That on 4 occasions, they don't question things them, you see, until the people then stand up together and say, no, we're not going to have this. We won't have this, you understand? We're going to stand up for what is ours, you see. So I don't understand. I feel like this way, if Mr. Kane, for either, you're not even supposed to cancel the by-election, because this is one thing they do in Sierra Leone. You get me? They do this, they cancel this, say let's recount, so they go do the UK. You see, why can't they, like when the thing happen, then just count them? Or they call every political party involved, then sit down there, then counter, rather than begin transport some things and go to Freetown. You see, so this one from waiting me they see from me on objective, you see, observation here. You see, the neck has a lot to answer for. Could it be that the neck is working with the government in power? You see, that's what it looks like. You get me? That's what it looks like. I could be wrong.
Well,
but
Auntie we need to be cautious in terms of
coming, because some of us are not saying much. I mean, because
no. Wait. What I try to say now is that we all know the election process are always challenging. Mr. Kanino can be responsible for one individual in acts or 2 individuals in acts. The thing is that sometimes the way we can fail to realize is that we just take Mr. Tunis say they particularly right for go court and sue these people, sue the electoral commissioner, so they will bring that person to court. I believe say most of the time we can assume say non do them process not can happen. They not can sue the people, and we just can complain and not take up. So I think say this time, just to Mr. Tunis say they need to take the case in the court. Now we see what happen with the courts. And then that's in a way all the electoral commissioner accountable for their actions here. But if you not go through the due process, then we always blame them. We say the duty of citizens and the party and say their own duty, they get lawyers. Now then job take this in a court and then make sure to the individual and that person them don't also this BNT go through the process first. But even if he resign, the next person they come, that's not going to solve that problem because this is a continuous problem until they don't inherit and for continue. Until we try to make sure we follow the due process, we set party system and the political party where they feel it and disenfranchise the people them, go courts, prove this person are guilty and jail the individual and set an example. So I feel say they get to start somewhere. So me just hope no more say the AP students say they go courts, then go for really go courts. Because again another problem is they can threaten each other, they don't keep go to courts. They left and they go. And this year I think say that ain't don't encourage people them for continue for involved in this circle. So I think it's a little bit we try for cautious a little bit and allow Mr. Kane, because he said don't hand the first person over, APC they go now court now, we see what's in the come up from the courts. Again, I understand any frustration, say the court in most cases say they can get a cool case, they can even push patients down the road, say that they come up. But at the end of the day, somebody still get for sue. Now we see first if this sue here with the APC don't take up for sue them, go through. So
no,
you want to say if I get Mr. Atilla? Yes, ma'am. No, I say if you want to say anything else, just for what I don't say.
Sure. Mrs. Raleigh, I beg to differ from you. You get me? You see, I still insist, say, Kone should be responsible. Whether Kone is able to be responsible, not go able, know within the app in all departments, and this and in one not go able, who cares? You see, when I say who cares, I don't mean say they go against the APC or Mr. Kone. When you are in a position, you get me, you're in a leadership position. You see, anything will go wrong with any of your staff there. Now you take overall responsibility for that. You are responsible for that because now you employ the people there, whether it's you who employ the people directly or indirectly. You see, that's not the point. You're not a leader. You don't train your staff there. You don't know what they take from what they take, what is acceptable practice from what is not acceptable. You get me? You see, going to court, this is, we all believe in the legal system. No, wait a minute. We all believe in the legality. You get me? Going to court.
So we all know.
Let me finish, please. Pardon?
Not so we all talk for yourself.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, okay. No, you're right. You're right. You see, some of us, yes, I think I don't use the right terminology. Some of us do believe in justice. You get me? But the country we're dealing with today, you see, we cannot guarantee justice in the sense that you can see that the ruling government so angrily want this position. That Kabbalah.
No, allow Mr. Atilla for no, allow Mr. Atilla come in.
No, they get power.
I don't. You guys,
no, let me finish.
Hello.
Let me finish. They have. Let me finish. Please let me finish.
If I don't have to talk, then I don't need to be here because then we can left alone.
No, you will talk, but you had your. No, but you had your.
But you didn't talk past me. You the co-host.
No, but you have your time. Let me talk. When me don't let you go talk. You've been getting your time. This is my own time.
You guys call me, then I can come on because it's like I'm not going to talk because you as
no, allow Mr. Atilla, Mr.
You already back up the APC posting by your story. That's what you're doing right now. You believe in him.
Okay, so
Mr. Atilla, my
when you were talking, I never said a word.
Let me give Antikadi space. Let finish. There you go. Come in.
Let's finish. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But if we shall be the say again, we shall be the say. You get me? You see? Fine. The justice system, Salone, is poor, not in every case, you see, but in some situations then, especially when it comes to political decisions of a government in power, you see, you cannot rely on it. You see, what if they go say, let me go the courts, and these courts continue for the adjourn. You see, it's not impossible. It is likely to happen. And it will be like that, and elections are just around the corner, you see. Just for delay, frustrate people and all that, you see. Let the courts be a result that they will attend to, but let we not say the electoral, because we can't just be saying that we they go court. This man knows say enough for do that. If they're not set example from
at this point, but not be fair though. Not be fair. This point is just an allegation for now. It is an allegation. So we get, like I said, it is an allegation for now.
No. It's not an allegation. The evidence was there, from what I understand.
Even as that, until the court prove
there is an evidence. There is an evidence. No, there is an evidence that the paper they where the man had.
Now, what is tell you, you they believe. That's what you're doing right now. You are biased as a co-host, and I expect you to be neutral. You are supporting what Tunis say, exactly what Tunis say. Now you the back up. You have no evidence independently. Trust me, you know that because all the things Tunis say. How do you know that the net commissioner? By the way, let me make this clear, because I don't have much time for this. Because this, I'll be expecting this, but it's fine.
No, okay. Let me
say this.
We're here. Let's go ahead.
Would they talk as if now SFP win the election, the chairman council. Now SFP win the 110 way and they talk about. Now Tunis the accusation. Now Yayah will sit down, we talk about justice. Now Yayah will sit down, this Supreme Court judge, and I'll show my brother Aiah Thomas, where I'm not knowledgeable in a lot of things. They're not the world where we all, my brother Aiah Thomas, they were in sack Sam's manner illegally. The same Supreme Court judge and I want they accuse say, no, they approved the sack. They approved it. Nobody said a word. They approved it. ECOWAS court, if he say it was wrong, the Supreme Court and say they no law sovereign. Let's go back, yeah. Let's go back. Since we want to talk about justice and Salone, please let's go back. Let's talk this, yeah.
Attila, narrow discussion to waiting they are.
You see, if
we are discussing and the malpractice from NEC. No, go back.
Go ahead. No, they want to make a reference. Let's make a reference. Go ahead.
Because when Mr. Tunis is talking, I know you talk one word.
No. Like I said, go ahead.
You can't keep stopping me if I'm talking. Then I don't need to be here.
Because go ahead. Go ahead.
And my life party, then I allow them. I'm not going to allow them.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Atilla. Go ahead and make your point, sir.
Now, Yayah will sit down. I go, because Mr. Aboswe, honestly, in spite of many disagreements, I respect and still. But now Yayah will sit down. He say 9 people then pull another. They're not pull another. They're the court system. The same court system what they talk about. Everybody know, say, 2 sets of system in Salone, which will never go against the government of the day. Very rare. The police and the judiciary. The same police, and then the same people go surround President Mada being host the day of election. They say he hired material then for the elections. If not for the intervention of John Mahama, he would have been killed. And who knows how Salone would have been to the top? Nobody should have the this talk to me. His house was surrounded by police. Mr. Aiah Thomas won't know that, sir. So let us not go and justice. Let this not make holier than thou, like, oh, they are the party seeking. They are not seeking democracy. Because in any case, that they win the election, The one word, and Mr. Aiah Thomas also assured, not to your answer, Mr. Tunis, you can win a general election, but for example, Aberdeen be APC stronghold. Not on a winner. Gordon be APC stronghold, not on a winner. Same thing how Musa Tambasam, when I be the public secretary for APC, I lost election of Thailand. When I SFP stronghold, it happens. The people that go and protest, they had a court injunction preventing those parliamentarians from taking oath. And what did we see? The same thing we don't see over and over from APC, vandalism in parliament, mass Bible, mass Quran, but nobody want to talk about time because with the afraid APC for some reason they're entitled to the rule of Salone for 35 years. But yet they should not be blamed more than anybody else for the wrongs of Salone. And that was part of the APC. But it's not me being part of it, not too important to. Now whether we tell the talk, now two on a lie. APC ruled Salone for 35 years. And you can't compare them with the party that ruled Salone for 17 years and get equal blame. You cannot. It's not how it goes. And we'll go back to the justice and elections thing. Now you see them. Kenema. Then vote. Like Kenema, right? They vote for regime man and Sulas and also. Then vote. Now SFP person, then go court. Then they threw his case out of court. How down the end? Now APC man should Kenema. So let us not go this far. I know some man go call they haven't been the past. No. Listen, we all know that one day, whether we like them or not, it's a fact and it's not going to change because apart from APC and SFP, it's difficult for any other party penetrate the corridors of power in Salone. So when one come, now this and they do. Now, I was on the agents that tell me something different, but from waiting at Karim, they say it's like in support waiting to you don't have no evidence because as far as I'm concerned, the next people they agree for a bold one. When Mr. Tunis said, don't talk now, I say, they pull the man. So anything where APC talk now, people like for agree. APC for be the judge or jury, now then for decide, oh, well, this person not for the day. Don't go afford time. That's not true. It's a lie. It's a blatant lie by the APC. Say that man don't go afford time. They don't get no evidence of that. Now, waiting Mr. Tunis one tell me and I they tell me now because he's APC. I'm not expecting. I'm surprised that you, the co-host of the program, go come and just lay blame on Mr. Connor when at the Chief Election Commission. I really think you for say, well, let them investigate, which is what you have. But you they blame the man, say the man for resigning of responsible. He will not resign because he did not.
Yes, I have to come in now.
He uphold.
In the first place.
He uphold.
No, but I have to come in.
Why you feel say not uphold the second one? Because you not believe say what they were saying was right. APC not a turn referee. They want to turn footballer for go this. They don't want to turn slapper. There are rules people for go by. I'm not telling you here that SFP is a perfect party. I know they can't tell Nadandi. I'm not telling you here that everything that happened in the elections in Kwanadugu, APC, now the only party wrong. There must have been people in the SFP where do something they want to know for the but for come and put the blame say entirely in a rogue APC because they're not in one word. I'm sorry, it's being economical with the truth.
Okay,
well, if I can come in, I just want for...
let me connect.
Let
me connect. Attila, can you give me time? Attila, no. Let me make a statement because Attila be the talk and not interfere. We intend to reach. Now when we intend to reach, it make a lost my train of thought and they talk on and on. Attila, let's just respect Attila. Let's just listen. Let us just respect each other here, and then we allow each other for talk. No, wait, make a talk. Allow me for talk. No, allow me for talk. You see, you know they allow me for talk.
Okay, guys. Okay.
Allow me for talk. No. I have to complete here because Attila make an accusation, so I have to clarify it here. I said, if because they say they get evidence, then you understand. On the basis of those evidence, if they get the evidence, then are still standing.
No, you did not say that. You did not say that.
Attila, please.
You spoke as if you sure. No,
Attila,
No, you not talk so.
No, we allow it on. I don't.
You never use the word if. You not ever use the word if. No, not be straight. You not ever use the word if.
If you are always
Mr. Tarani, the only way they spoil this thing.
I don't have to say. Listen, the language, I don't have to say if. Listen, I don't have to say if.
Let me come in. The only way to call this, bring a neutral person.
Let me just make it question. I will bring you and
all the other three people.
No, wait a minute.
They will go back at each other.
Listen, I don't need to say if. I can still say what I want to say in a different way without using the word if. You understand? So not say because you not say if. I start with this thing, say that was I make this man clarify and say, then he say then take change number them, then do that and do that. You see, and engage people there. It confirm and say yes and so. That was when I said, if that's the case, should that be the case, then the man should take responsibility because I'm the leader, and I stand by that. If that's the case, for take responsibility.
You did not say that.
Doesn't matter. Atilla, let me tell you something. Atilla, this thing
let's meet
Mr. Karali,
this VOA, I don't defend.
Mr. Karali,
let me come in and call the situation. Allow me to come in, Mr.
Karali, Paki, come in.
Yeah, Mr. Tunis, come in. When you tell Michael for me for so that we'll bring on an end so that we'll be able to co in the situation. Because people want to understand what's in the happen, get the fact. But if they go back and forth and talk over each other,
let me come in and call the situation down. Because if you bring any of the three people inside, now confrontation again for me. Let me come in as a neutralist.
There you go, pick them up, Mr. Yapi. Give me 1 second, please. Plug in, Mr. Just 2 minutes. I'm like coming quick. That will bring you in, please. All right. Yes, Mr. Tunis, go ahead for 2 minutes, sir.
See, I don't make it very clear, and I say I don't care for wrong propaganda between the APC and the SFP and all of this. Look, this is not the first election where SFP don't win at the north. Very recently, by election within a Mambolo, the winner. Nobody now complain because we don't get them problems. They are
complain.
We don't see that. So this has nothing to do with SFP losing or APC losing or SFP winning. Now, waiting, we see the Electoral Commission, they do it wrong. For with democracy now and for with democracy tomorrow. And make I just correct Atilla on one thing. You know, when we come sit down for talk to with people, and let we give them the facts. The case of Ansu Lansana be completely different. Ansu Lansana was petitioned even before the election. And the court make judgment, then give judgment say, based on the petition, and not even APC bring the petition. It was a petition brought forward by an SFP policy where we don't become independent. So before we go into the elections, the court did already clearly say Ansu Lansana should not be on the ballot because he was not qualified based on the petition. But whether on negligence or because the time be too short, they not remove her from the ballot.
So how about
so when they do, let me finish. So when they do the elections, people did not vote for her. The court said no. We had already ruled say you don't be supposed for the other ballot. It is on that basis that the one we can second turn MP. So it's completely different when people come. Therefore, they explain the facts to the people. Then they are not to propaganda. Attila, don't worry, we'll come back to power. You will be PR for it.
2045.
Come on in now. We cannot say this one. It's going to be a long one for me this night. I know that. So, but we enjoy it. This is what we need. But Lord, we just listen to each other. So because I don't say we're not going to forget each other all night. So, Mr. Yapi, come on in, sir. What thing are you taking now on this? To go on?
Look, the first things first I want to mention is that Auntie Kadi get rights to in views, but she is the co-host. All right? And let me get that very clear. As a co-host, as a responsibility or a host, your responsibility now for ensure that you provide a medium for let the guests they will express themselves. But once you start to engage into the discussion as if you are a guest, then you devalue the program. All right, so let's make that very clear. Atilla is 100% right for say Auntie Kadi. The way they speak, it appears like she's a guest. You understand? But she's a co-host, and I think that demarcation should be very clear at all times. That's one. and I'm saying this out of all due respect for Auntie Kadi and VOS. I'm a family member of VOS, so I'm saying this out of due respect. I feel say we need to forget that very clear. You understand? Atilla, my guest, they will speak on issues, they will attack on issues, but yourself, Mr. Tarali, and Auntie Kadi need to be the moderators of the discussion. You cannot actively participate in it. That is one. Now, let's focus on the point. The point now, when Adibu district Kabbalah, where they get these by-elections. That is what we are discussing. All right. Yes. There's several other issues that we will talk about, but that's what. And I believe there is another second thing that we are discussing today, when the explosive audio where lawyer Kaloko. So we spend 50 minutes on this, and this will be my last part of. I want to contribute. I just want that we will focus with discussion to the topic of the day.
I promise you, no, not to go out anymore. We're going to let you go no more. I promise you.
So back to the topic of the day. Look, we're not able to discuss the Kwenadugu district elections and malpractices without referencing what has happened before. You understand? This is just the reality. There's been several instances in the past where they will reference, and Atilla, my brother, has referenced some of those instances. Mr. Tunis can rebuke that, but those references, we all know about those references are crystal clear. The embarrassment with some of those references caused not only to we country as Sierra Leone, but particularly to the judiciary and the government of the day at the time, which was the APC government of the day. So me no want entertain the idea of tit for tat, wherein APC do dubious acts and manipulates the judiciary systems, and then SLPP comes and continues that. But we cannot discount that either. That this night cultural, night toxic cultural norm where they continue between APC and SLPP, they revolve all the time. APC is there, they remote control the judiciary, they remote control the legislative arm of government until they get everything they want. Everything they want, they get it. You understand? Then SLPP comes, they do the same thing. You understand? That make me say, and I hope say my brother Atilla will understand what I say. That make me say I don't have faith in the judiciary. When I say that, I'm not saying that in particular just for now. Even when APC was there, I had no faith in the judiciary because I knew they can just influence things. Kambarima not in a prison today, so Kambarima were accused of a bailable crime. He didn't have prison today, over 1 year there. Kambarima, when they don't grant bail to 3 weeks ago, he's still in prison today. You understand? He's provided everything that they needed. He's still in prison today. So the judiciary has always sided with the government of the day. The legislature has always sided with the government, whether a minority or majority. They always sided. Now, money when they work in Sierra Leone. The government of the day pours money into the opposition. The opposition caves into the government of the day. So it doesn't matter. The numbers don't matter. But what they say is that APC, number one, they need to abide by, they need to firstly recognize that they've done this. They've done this for nearly 11 years. You understand? They need to recognize that. So it's not going to change. These guys are going to pay back. Number one. Number two, they need to keep the peace. It's important to keep the peace. Number three, then for go through that same crooked arm of government, where they know they use for 10 years, where SLPP don't catch protocol, they should be willing to go through that, even when they know that particular arm of government, which is the judiciary, will never do justice for them, will never serve them justice. They need to go through the process because that is what is required. If you want to become a respectable opposition, you want to be seen as a law-abiding opposition, then you need to go through the processes of the day. And you and I here on national television or viewers cannot pass judgment ahead of the judiciary. Even though we don't trust them, we cannot pass the judgment. The judgment is for them to pass. You understand? So we need to still respect them, even though we don't trust them. So this is where I'm calling on. I think which not happen. It is unfortunate that there's been several electoral malpractices in this particular Kwenadugu elections, and I condemn it outrightly. But I still urge the All People's Congress Party to show leadership and follow due processes.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Atilla, make us switch. And I say, okay, I like the 2 minutes answers. I can ask
I'm for tell my brother Aiah Thomas. As they are go one number because we too need to make up certain things.
Well, you don't get a free number. So go ahead.
But let I just state something. Another thing I have for can say SLPP was perfect in the Konadugu elections. I've never said that. But the judiciary, like where Mr. Aiah Thomas say, me wait you don't I not trust them 1 bit. 1 bit. One, and then you don't ever say judiciary. Because we system, because of the archaic corruption we don't happen in our country for long, without blaming anybody, it's not used to the judiciary being independent. It's not. Yeah. So I don't know why anybody that Tunis the Allah says is voting for democracy, like we had democracy for where we all know people have disappeared, nobody was investigated, nothing had happened. Yayah go talk about petrol price, Mohamed Bango and the communication minister, they arrested, they locked her up. We all know Jonathan Lee, what he said against former President Nkrumah, was locked up and all that. So we all know. Right now, as I talk to now, in this present government, why am I angry at them? Look, somebody go, he kidnapped somebody, clear as daylight. He falsely imprisoned him. Australia was Mr. Aiah Thomas in America, who said we all the Mr. Tawutawali. That man, my man took for in jail for 20 years. He kidnapped and he put on bail. It's not even like, now himself show himself. What are we seeing? The matter has not been taken to court because the man both say he get influence. So the point about the judiciary, let we get is very clear. The judiciary of Sierra Leone, we don't know but how Missiam going forward will never, ever be independent because apart from anything else, Mr. Tawutawali, many of them judges they are. They don't get issues then. We sometimes the party will be in power before the party they will support now. So when they come in, they put them in there. You think they are really going to go against the people away? You can't bite the hand that feeds you. So now the point that they make, I know they
okay. So now make I ask you this one, Mr. Atilla. Yes. 2020 election they come. I know this. I know say this is for being boy. No open and now.
Yes, sir.
You feel say SLPP because of waiting they go at the ground, SLPP will win this election, and why you feel them win?
I think they will win. One, they are the incumbents and they go for second time. Secondly, I think SLPP, then especially the president in policies and they in line with the spirit of the people, and I think that will hold. If you see the percentage where SLPP can get, although the board at Tunis will say when I work they go now 110 and Konadugu district increased from 2018, and a lot of other factors because the way APC been treat people like Alhaji Samsumana, the debate and now and all that kind of stuff shows they've lost the plot. APC don't look. APC not reflect, excuse me, just a minute. APC not reflect the national outlook of the country. I said that to you. If you look, the flag bearership convention, not only how many people, Victor Fogo na the southeast, Kelfala Bikona, Kono Ego School, Kono, Sylvia Blythe manage Gona Kailan, all the rest of the concentration in the north. APC just believes, say, if you are from the north, if now you inalienable right for support APC, if you don't, you are a traitor. We all see people, the Allah, anybody will not go for Sabua Kamana, Buya, Romania, the driver, I know they sleep now. We have all those politicians on video. And we see constantly, even though it's very clear that many northerners live in the southeast and they are well accepted and accommodated. And they don't live, they don't below, they don't born between them. Me, West Sudan, I get picking from the north, in Mama, na Makeni person. So the point I'm making is that APC does not reflect the national outlook. They can pick people like Yayah Tunis for reflect that, but really, in reality, when you look at APC, honestly, they cannot win a free and fair election. I mean, they always resort to violence. For example, if anybody for the flag bearer of APC in 2024 be Victor Fogo, nobody else. He's worked harder than every one of them, whether they right now they bluff say they're naive people, including the chairman and leader for life and his microbe. So for me, if you ask the question, whether they go win. And secondly, the institutions will be abandoned. Salone, the World Bank, the IMF, Islamic Bank, African Development Bank, all of them are back. Why is this okay? If Salone was so bad, if Salone is so awful, look, America and Britain and EU, when they oppose country, all the year you were in the top. I've never had one of those countries, not one of them. I don't even make any statement against President government. What do we see? He's been invited to the Global Education Summit. They invited to Turkey. They go everywhere. He came to America. He met American State Department officials. And he is continuing on the process of ensuring that Salone cannot be perfect. No. In fact, President Beno with this Salone problem, elect him to term down, sir. But one thing we know, I want to disagree with my brother, Sidi Aiah Tunis. Now, Operation 2045, now they pan now, because one for made the country and fix them. So when APC can, whoever can now power under APC after 2015, the person will make the country in a way that he cannot or she cannot reverse the trend, because we are going forward.
All right. So Mr. Tunis, let's ask the same question to you as a member of the APC party. I know say 2023 election they come on our side on the beginning and said you feel say APC go win the election and why you feel so not go win now?
Well, Atilla, the PRO for the SLPP now, I don't know which chapter I call now, the United
Maryland.
So of course, now waiting to see probably Joe Biden they do so if he's in a but when you get on the ground, you could definitely and clearly know say this government don't lost. They don't lost everything. They talk more than they do. Then they lie plenty. A lot of the things they will they say are plenty lie, full of lies. I mean, you know, the records are there. We see they talk about international cloud. I mean, look at the records. We don't go down on human rights. We don't go down on several against the whole we don't make internationally. Locally, of course, we don't need for talk. Even the flagship project where they talk about the free quality education, it is more of talking than doing. Then they talk about school feeding project. I never see a government wicked like this government. Even the school feeding where they talk about. Then bring in the rest from Japan for the Peking. Then shape the rest among themselves. Then sack the Minister of Education, then cry and go ACC, and where he threatened for call all of the people that will shape the rest, ACC go back and withdraw the case, say they don't get matter against the minister anymore. And he's been appointed to another ministry. I mean, these are all facts. We know as a party, people that will then shape their rest and they too, will then not be done use them, ACC go collect the rest and from them back. The Paremba Road prison massacre, inmates then suffer for nothing because people go there for thief rest. After we then don't thief, then set the prisons on fire, you know, claiming that's a prison riot and prison break. And only for let the investigations then show later say, nobody go attack the prison. And who were involved? Members of the Presidential Guard. And we know say the Presidential Guard go only move on instruction of UDAS, the president of the country. So let you get Presidential Guard go and massacre people at Paremba Road. All of their records and they took care. The records are there. McKinney, over generators, 6 people lost their lives. You know, so when we look at all of those things, I have lived in Godrich for 4 years. Now, the first time this under this administration, where they go 3 weeks, 4 weeks without water. You know, it never happened at our community day. And you sit there and say, this government, they do well. Well, let me see. 2023, not they far. We as a party don't now know how SLPP they win elections. Then blatant malpractices they are all don't begin uncover. So, and this is why we are worried. If we cannot have, you know, a credible neck for conduct elections, neck we get integrity, we'll have problems in this country. And so if you know one problem as Salone, we know say we will beat SLPP any day, anytime in a free, fair, and credible election. Because first of all, I always say they don't even get clue how to run government. They don't even get clue. They are all glued into the fiasco, flying a private jets, go from one country to another. The amount of money we don't spend on our president's flying, we not get any reward for that. I always can tell people, I don't do the research consistently. Every time the bills travel out of Sierra Leone, the dollar they go up. Every time when they don't travel out of Sierra Leone, the dollar they go up.
And private jet,
you know, because they take huge amount of our dollar out. So you find out the Bank of Salone if you get money anymore. Consistently, even now, my brother, banks they still struggle with having money in the banks because money not there. They don't thief all common at the banks. Monies are being kept in their homes. They take them out of the country. So all of them things they are with the grab with it. petrol they go up regularly. We know say maybe before the end of the year, we go down get 15,000 for petrol. Everyday prices of commodities they go up. The people of this country just not able to afford the basic living again. And you talk about winning. Let us go into 2023.
And APC led the country in austerity measure, right? Did they lead the country?
Mr. Aiah, I'll give you 2 or 3 minutes for you to you want to take. Would I use right now as a political analyst before we bring Atilla in and bring the causes in? Would I usually say go win this election 2023?
I think that's not the most intriguing question ever when you don't ask with only about a year and a half to the next election. A year actually in 7 months to the next election in 2023 in June. It's simple for say yes, APC go win or SLPP go win. But let's look at some factors. Number one, would it make APC loss? One of the contributing factors that Ebola, the pandemic at the time, it crumbled the economy so bad, things then go right up, and there were that was a huge disadvantage to APC at the time. Now, SLPP is facing similar issue with the coronavirus. The coronavirus pandemic, it don't crumble a lot of economies, global economies around the world. Countries are losing trillions. You understand, in revenue. So you don't stop business, you don't stop trade, and that's why prices are going up. Not only in Sierra Leone, but all over the world, prices are going up. In Europe, there are certain parts in Europe in July, petrol price go up to €2 per liter. You understand? That's 20,000 leones. If you're doing the calculations by Sierra Leone, that's 20,000 leones, if not more. So I think BO government, they don't get the young gegen approach. When the same similar gegen approach way an SB gets, then BO don't get. So we need to look at these factors then. But I think President BO is being underrated. He's been underestimated on several occasions. The opposition, the APC, they don't underestimate BO several, and you don't outsmart them. You understand? And let me tell you one thing. During the elections, the kind of way where they deal with BO during that nearly 11 year up to the election, the way the then president and his Kuruma tolerate BO. When BO win, even make that they push and far away. And nobody anticipated that BO will go ahead with his corruption fight as vicious as he's doing it, which is good, by the way. Nobody anticipated that. Nobody anticipated the Commission of Inquiry to be this successful. Nobody, even myself as a political analyst, I'm the thing say we kind of power. He just gave us squeeze things as per usual, like Anes did, but he didn't. So, and the free quality education, I wouldn't call it quality, but I'll call it free education. That free education, a lot of people think that it is nothing. You're looking at the surfaces, but if you go underneath, there are people in the villages, there are people in the urban areas that are benefiting from it. They don't want to hear anything, but they benefit from it. All they know is that they used to pay school fees, but they're not paying school fees now. You understand? The food aspect of it, that's failed. But the part of it, when a huge part for families, now that's school fees. There are kids that have been driven from schools because of lack of school fees. That is no longer an issue. Generally, it is no longer an issue in Sierra Leone. So I think, say, the APC, they underestimate BO on several instances, and BO don't outsmart them on several occasions, and it continues to flourish. And let me tell you, Victor Fo, where we brother Atilla mentions, that one of the most deserving APC today is on the president's side. Alpha Khan works for the president today. You understand? And there are several aggrieved APCs that are just sitting there. They're not doing anything, but they're waiting for the right opportunity to come up so that they can do a payback. So, and APC, then a position. The position where they're right now, this NDC National Delegate Conference where they don't get, it was a golden opportunity to reunite the party. It was a fantastic opportunity for rejuvenate the party and put them in a position for become victorious. This is not the easiest victory in the way we get 2023. But instead, their chairman and leader used it as a popularity contest. It destroyed every hope where they imagine every hope imaginable. In fact, it do worse than which we don't do before. It retract in apology where we don't make that and the way NRM been forced for whether NRM cap we're gonna party officer apologize. He retracted that apology. He blamed everybody else in the room but himself. So it pretty much counterproductive. Impressing that NDC was counterproductive, and now that they go back in a court, according to Alfred Peter Conte and others. So what I'm seeing is that more division, more power to Ernest Bai Koroma, and more destabilization in APC. So because of that, I don't believe they're on the right trajectory for victory come 2023. Thank you.
Thank you. So I go over to Antikali, what you get for family, I'll see you now before I bring the caller in. Go ahead.
The whole thing about the two elections, when they say would I get for winner, would I not go for it? You see, both parties, you get me. If the APC put the axe together, well, the APC like the SLPP, it's just the same. They know how to bring their parties, how to bring people together in the end anyway. You see, then go Allah, and then in the end, you see, they will sort something out. You see, so the APC in terms of, it depends on who the candidates are. If the APC come with some solid candidates with claim, we are not getting nothing for talk about. You get me? They stand a chance. You see, similarly, I don't know whether the SLPP will come with any other candidates except because everybody in a power can go 2 terms. You see, so the assumption that Bio they go 2 terms, you see, so Bio is still going to be the person. You get me? So what the APC, like I said, the APC just need to forget is solid 2 people then, where Bio not able to say nothing but, you get me? Bio not able to hold them for corruption. Bio not able, anti-corruption are not able to invite them. You see, those are the kind of people. Then, may they not rule APC out. You get me? You see? Because now, when they say APC out, you see, it's not a question of bias, you understand? It's just a question of the way things are, because now BO is in power, and it's likely BO is going for 2nd term. So now we focus on APC, because they are in a position, APC and the other parties then. You get me? It depends on if they get a solid candidate, 2 solid candidates, where they're not get for take go na court, where they're not get for ask questions, where they're not get for suspects about nothing, where now we don't take no money in a Salone, no nothing. Those 2 people then, yeah, the 3 people then go say, oh, well, yes, you see, then go ready for try, then people then, you get me? For try then. You see, so I wouldn't rule anybody out of any election, you see, because nobody knows that making always say, elections, now God they give power. You see, when mother, the right mother of completely, but mother can end up, although it take long, but it end up being president. And it was written out here, understand, they write them down completely. So similarly, if they can write APC down now, then APC can decide to let us get we up together. But now we look do, you understand it. For Alfred content, they're gonna court and everything, but he can decide, say, well, enough is enough. I want to talk to the people then, because if he says something in party they lost, then he go decide say when a law can't talk serious talk. So we can't rule anybody out. Now God one game, what do they mean?
All right, thank you. Let me call it in quick, then we'll jump to the next topic with Lawyer Kaloko and also Samuel Kamara issue. Well, let me then call it in 2 minutes each there, and then when I go say on our questions or concerns to the PSM, and I will allow them to answer them quick. So being the first caller in, would have been called out, then must say the call from please.
Yeah. Good evening. So we guest them and the moderators. I mean, when they talk, me Alamin are the call from United States.
Yes,
I want to tell you now, all thank you at least for this program. First of all, this guy here, when a political analyst, at least some of we know from the angle we in the commode. Of course, I see for C. So you know, get anything for Turkey concerning good, but APC.
You understand? Because we all know what will happen. And I'll be one of the guys that will be the holler for some Sumana. So I don't say not get anything good for Tobot. But I believe say APC don't resolved. That one day wanna be rest assured, whether wanna like it or not, APC don't resolve. And come 2023, we know say APC, you understand, they clinch the state house. You see? Because the people that we get the power, when are the young people, they know the suffering where they undergo in that country. So for me, we they sit on America with the Tinapo, they talk, what they feel for talk, you understand, while the people and they suffer. People are not, they're not stupid again anymore. You understand? Are they suffering? We all they see what thing they happen. Rest now they go to 500,000 leons. What are the minimum wage? Because we sit on them country they are with they enjoy then laxity, they are get water, get everything. Where people when they come up, they talk there kind issue there. And just not tell well. You know, look how that man, look how picking and the thing call it kind of a school step. Talking about additions of school. Look the school step. Yeah, check about the toilet facilities, them all empty in there. So what's this free education? With all these kind of resources where they Canada country, they what they don't do? What in new? Yeah, what are the new things? So at least now we put the country above. What people and they suffer. So now they just come because we get the space for the talk and then place there. You understand? Instead with the hit on the issue with the left and they would go on personal. So that will be contribution. I thank Kuna Hall.
All right, thank you very much. Look at the next caller. Good evening, caller. What name must I call from, please? Good evening, caller. What name must I call from?
Yes. Hello.
Yes, sir. What name must I call from, please, sir?
Yeah. I the call from Kalamba and the local Masama Children put local district Nina Pias Jalo.
Yes, sir, Mr. Jalo. What are you on take, sir?
Okay. Me on take is on this discussion. First, I want to let viewers actually this night program one like for white on my village here in Kalamba. And they enjoy them very good. But una with the host, I want una the give sometimes chances to the guests and who una can get. Like Auntie Kadi talk too much, take over, make a judgment, you know the host. For to make a judgment. Now, law come on the election between SLPP and APC. One thing while everybody know. Now, within the country, within would they see everything what it want. Atilla measure one thing this show. APC no, SLPP no. If you sit on a power now, I tell you, now you control the judge, now you control the police. APC know that they. Now make them let for make halal noise. They tell them the whole power, the same thing they do. Tunis no, na me in there you know that they say what the whole power just so they can do anything, they can flip result, they can do anything. And they tell you now say the next election SLPP get for winner because now they didn't power. You say APC, that mistake who na do, who na she don't take now whole power. But all the development who na don't call who they are they see who na lost power. This 2023 una no we will win. Law do democracy. Then you go for 2 terms. Then una begin wrestle now for the next one. That pull una pull some man just for affect now for a long time. And SLPP gets a history for old vice president and good. APC get bad history for handle the vice president and good. Tunis SF they clarify. So Kasivin do something wrong to SI Kurma. This guy come back and as Kurma come back, he do the same thing. And he do unto Boto, he do unto Victor Fo. He play trick on Victor Fo. He tell us he can get, jam. After we don't kick some Sumana, he use Victor Fo. Then they affect them. Then they don't get support now the East. Now he lost some because of the.
All right, Mr. Jalo, I'll get the next caller before I bring the guests back in. Good evening, caller. Can you say the call from, please?
Hi, I call from Arizona.
Yes, sir. What now? You can take 2 minutes, sir.
All right. My name Tommy. I just want to take this time for say thank you to my brother, Aiah, P. Thomas, for being part of that gathering today. I always keep attack here say they talk well, but now somebody it's not for the truth, even if it bend it truth. and then I don't follow up for all this while. And then I want to say plenty thank you to you back where you get the courage for many old people and that they go against Dandy for them crooks, politicians then where they don't wealth themselves and make that country unbearable, And I want to say thank you to Atilla for, believing himself and then doing things he believes are the right way he they go. It's just unfortunate for me, brother Sidi. Sidi know how the past government, they don't make the platform for even if this government today, they cause a lot of issues. It's not saying that the past government ain't make the platform. We know they say many people are going to do me or do you. But a lot of nonsense where they go on today now because of the foundation where the past government left with this government. If we not get light, food not day. Now because of the
All right, sound like so we don't lose some. So let me bring you in, Mr. Atilla. 2 minutes, very the caller then. What are you going to take about what's in very so?
Well, I just want to go back to something my brother Sidi and Tunis talk about private jets then. Oh my gosh, I was shocked. Whenever former President Anesbai Commander was in government, even before Mr. Tunis can join me, Ebola. I know that he traveled with almost 100 people every time he came to the United States and went to England. Ebola would talk about. All man knows say Paulo Conte will receive $12,000 a month as a salary for heading Ebola. So let's don't go there. And the issue about APCs, as I've been telling you just now, like how that man told just now, not only some smart APC don't do so, now super check it SI, now some more kill me now. In the case of SI, now Siki die. In the case of Mina, then killer, some smart. All man know how to teach this, but it's unfortunate that him in there for go. For if I were him, if I've been close to that man, I probably not ever go APC. So what APC does is use you, misuse you, and abuse you, and dump you, and then do back to and so back. And then that will come to human rights record, yeah. Now would then bomb Mr. Mustafa Nine staying that friend. Nobody was ever arrested. S.O. Williams, Mawe served the army of Salone for over 30 years, was killed mysteriously. Nobody was ever arrested. Not to talk about Dr. Claude Netson, on Aiah, they arrested and lock out. Sam Bangura and others. People are going to say, oh, we left for talk about the past. We have to. And what did APC do to the Brewer then? And Kai Samba then? When Kai Samba then decided they would stand against Sir Albert 967, Pashaki appointed him. What the end of the Ngia crimes, the Ngia case say he committed ritual murder. He and 3 of his other brothers were executed. The now Minister of Justice in brother. What I'm saying, we don't have a very rosy history of APC being in power in Sierra Leone. Now under APC, now Pashaki tell we say, who said the entire county there for its grass, which shows you for Tifa's money. And now under APC, Pashaki in government, now the officer will say, but then say buy or buy. When I be the very successful businessman, you say that it's iniquitous. When I be a professor of education. So we know all that. So APC can't. What I'm saying to you, again, SLP is not the perfect party as well. But honestly, if you cast blame on Salone in downfall today, where we are, APC are the patron for even toxic. What about it for talk? Right. Because they have no right. They cannot come and blame SLP for everything. When they are responsible for 60%, 70% of the wrong way they go on in this country. Everybody knows.
All right, thank you, Mr. Tunis. You hear the callers then, so what now you want to take 2 to 3 minutes, sir?
Thank you very much. Me now possibly number left for reduce myself to then kind Attila kind style politics then. Where they go bring Shaka Stevens into an era like this, democratic era. But for your information, since you don't go down that dirty route, let me give you also some history. How we see Canada, this country, where they kill so many people. Now you SLPP because they know they're in opposition. How rebel war Canada, this country, other than go recruit the 40 Sankwas, train them for cut people they hand them, cut people and foot them, cut people they hate them. Now you SLPP because they know they're in opposition. Other than kill Kula Sambas and others, Hassan Contes, several good generals of the army, good soldiers in our army, blatantly, broad daylight, blindfolded. Now you SFPP because they know and in our opposition. I mean, I know about left for talk, but then dirty past than they. Because we are now in a democratic era. You dey talk things where you don't get evidences for. You don't know who that killed Mustafa, like how they say. I mean, let us stop these kinds of politics. When we come here for freedom, let us educate our people. But when we run that kind of propaganda, they also, you waste you don't understand you Attila single-handedly. You don't make several of your brothers that don't run out of Sierra Leone because you say things about them that are not correct, where they make the government, they go after them, arrest them, lock them up, threaten their families, and sometimes they don't flee out of that country, them and their families, because of the same kind of they are so. For me, we are confident as a party. We govern this country for 11 years. We don't get everything perfect, but every single district in this country experience some form of development, whether they vote for the APC or not. We have good roads now, more than we ever had before. We improve on energy. We improve on healthcare in this country. The very education where they brag about, we improve on education in this country. We improve on good governance. Several things that we've been lacking with and not be recognized before. We improve on them. We improve on our economy, and it became one of the fastest growing economy before we were struck by Ebola. You, Attila, you enjoy those benefits under our administration. And you see that impacted the lives of the people of this country. We government be they pay up to 70% of university tuition for students in addition to the SLG. And in addition to that, all female students will be they offer sciences, but they get free tuition. And today, under education at this government, then they force them for take student loans. In a country who start picking at the common college, they don't even guarantee of a job. And you are forcing them, moving them away from the scholarships and grants where they get under the APC, pushing them into taking student loans in the economy like this. And you talk about, free quality education on a system where you say, what? Tuition, we don't even reach 60,000 per year. When parents, they spend over 1 million a year on education expenses. And we don't see under this administration, the failures don't increase more than ever before in the history of this country. But let's see, the voters not full. You will get one or two people who will call and give praise singing. But the majority of the voters of this country are not fools. They know whose side their lives been there, and they know whose side their lives they now. And come 2023, we will ensure we protect their votes, just like how we don't stand firm for protect the votes of the people of Kwenarigo district.
All right, thank you. Abeg, sir, just quickly. Abeg.
No.
Just one.
No, 1 minute.
Just one minute.
Listen, will come back and give 1 minute. If the man continue for talk, I will come back and request for 1 minute because he keeps doing baseless things. We don't get nothing for doing this. He's there running his mouth, endangering the lives of the people of this country, endangering fine Sierra Leoneans, their lives there because of the baseless things that we see on the scene of the United States.
I don't speak. When I allow the moderators,
just a minute.
Please, Attila, when I allow the moderators, they let them control this program. Please.
Yeah, because in time constraint.
That's a fallacy.
Right and done, Attila, I want to come back to you. You say, Mr. Yakubu, I'll get in the line away.
All right. So I believe saying I'm your own turn. Yes, Tunis and Mustafa go allow me make I just respond. Yes, me if you say we need for as a show of respect to the three callers, them I will respond to them directly. We first call on Parliament. Parliament say in don't see what did he say? It don't fit for me. And me a spokesman for Sam Sumana and defend Sam Sumana in 2018 elections. And this my role is vengeful. Basically, that's what he said in his summary. Let me say this. I bewitch me tribe na fuller. You know why? I wish my tribe was fuller. Because if me tribe not been fuller, people and for don't look assess me views based on uti actually they present as opposed to usa come out. I wish some Somalian have been different tribe. You understand? Because it's so difficult when they speak on issues, people they look at tribe. Let me say this. If you visit my page, Mr. Lamini Gosia, I never supported Sam Sumana in the 2018 elections. Never. Nobody, like people see it every day, they don't believe it. You know what I support now the 2018 elections? Now President Bio now support now the 2018 elections. President Bio now support. Sam Sumana, yes, is like a brother to me. I never supported him because I never believed in what he presented for Sierra Leone. You understand? I supported President Bio, and I was very keen to see how Dr. Kane Yunkela was going. So let's get those things very clear. So not to everything when they say in line with Sam Sumana, I'm not to Sam Sumana is spokesman. I admire him, but I'm not his spokesman. I admire Anes by Proma, I'm not his spokesman. You understand? And that makes you disciplinary mix up. You say this man Akonoma naturally for support Sam Sumana in all occasions. That is not the case with me. I never support anybody blindly. So let's get that fact 100% clear. So my brother, you view about 2018 saying that Sam Sumana advocate for, it is wrong. It is not true because I never supported Sam Sumana in the 2018 election. I supported President Bio. The second caller with Mr. Jallo. Mr. Jallo, he firstly say thanks and thank you to Mr. Jallo for being civil and expressing his views. And he also buttressed on the fact the views of Mustafa Atilla say the judges, then they align with the police, and the judges and the police, then they always align with the government of the day. That has always been the case since independence. The judges and the police always align with the government of the day. And SLPP government is not an exemption. Unfortunately, they are aligning with them. So when you take your case to court, if you know they're in favor of SLPP right now, you can bet against all odds that you lose the case. If you're in favor of SLPP, you will likely win the case. That's how it is. That's how it has been with APC when APC was in governance for nearly 11 years. That's how it is. Anybody can explain it now, but the record speaks for themselves. And even the regional embarrassment when we suffer speaks for themselves. So Mr. Jallo, I agree with you wholeheartedly. My brother Tommy spoke. I really couldn't understand what Tommy speak, but I know that he wanted to make a point, but the line not being very clear, so I couldn't really understand what he had to say. But please, gentlemen, let's focus on the topic of the day and let people able to learn from here and understand exactly what they will share. Let there be respect and decorum, please. Thank you. All right,
thank you very much, Aiah. I appreciate it, my brother. Auntie Kadi, 2 minutes, please. What's now you take on the callers?
Let me say one thing. You get me? You saying? I'm going back to where we started. You get me? I know that if you are making a point that I know I come with some hot points in which anybody within the opposition over Yayah, you get me. So as a result, you say I am biased. But that doesn't bother me, you see, because anybody who watch COS knows whatever I say, I say things the way it is, how it should be. Obviously, it not will go well to other people there, you see. Today, if I say things very nice on your side, you will agree with me. If I say things way not nice on your side, you will go against me. This is the very forum way. No, this is the forum way when everybody against Francis Ben Kafala, I was defending him. I defended, but Ben Kafala and Ayah, at the time when the whole Sierra Leone be against them. I defended Fatima Bio. I defended Mother Bio. You understand? You see? Maybe Atilla was not listening to those programs.
No, what happened?
No, what the point now at the say is...
The point now is that, I just clarify before you go far. You see, then the unanimous guests, when you co-host a different, the way you come in and out, when you not co-host, you not get opinion. you're able to take your side. When I guess they're able to take your side. So I think there is a difference there. So now just clear that line before making
okay. Maybe today will be my last day of being a co-host. You understand? Because
okay, that's fine.
no, today will be my last day. Because there's some no, this is true. Because even if you watch television and here, you see people, even though they are hosting show, but if something comes where they're not say, then they come out strongly and say, even though they are presenting the shows, you get me? You see? Right. But when you want to say something and then somebody keeps coming, you're not able to say, when I watch that program, I spent for a long time when it's my turn, you ask me, I started saying, Atilla will not let me finish. If only he had allowed me to finish, you see, they will not be forgotten all that way. I was trying to finish, you see, it just went in there. But you know what? You see, today would be my last day of hosting. You understand? I'm not hosting anymore. If VOS wants me, I will come as a guest because I cannot see and then see things. You see, even though I am presenting the program, you see, but I think I have a right to say something. Presenting a program, we have to get it right. Presenting a program doesn't mean you have to sit down like a dumb and don't say nothing. No, there are things when you present program, your guest can say something that you question them and things you don't agree with. You can come out and say your point. That doesn't make you that you're supporting anyone. That's all I want to say.
Went well taken. We will talk about that after the show. So the line, we'll clear the glory line after the show. We get on the line, being the crowd and back in. Good evening, caller. Within the most call for please.
Hello, good morning from my own side.
Yes, sir. Within the most call for please, sir. 2 minutes.
I call from Salone. This is Fode.
Yeah, Mr. Fode, go ahead.
I want hit on certain side and where Atilla and the other man they talk about. None of them two parties are no good to that nation day. In terms of killing, both of them don't kill. So now we just forget about that side. But this time mainly for Atilla. Atilla will not type then a disgrace and Salone. Now a big disgrace. I'm not blaming that because
are you going personal?
Not taken personal.
No, I will.
No, be careful of the word of the videos. What I mean, respect you separate for respect them, okay? Atilla, you don't know me. You have to respect to host them and also the guests and those who respect you back as a caller. They you reframe them what they did there. All right, you can make your point, but we now go personal or disrespect yourself there. The big sir, go ahead.
Yeah, these are the people that are spoiling the country today. Let them face the truth. Because a day with this government today, we're supporting them. Let's talk Salone. Let's stop for the hidden people there. Why are you people are not coming out and tell your masters the truth that what are they doing is wrong to the nation? It's wrong for the people. Now the president, they go publicly, they say people and they say 500 millions a year. Are you people honest to the nation? Are you serving your people? It's a big disgrace. None of them two parties are good for that nation day. Atilla, you were APC and you were saying so much for APC.
So what? And Escoma was
saying so much for APC, and today you are in SLPP, and now you are backing SLPP with all their bad deeds. Are you patriotic? None of una them two parties are not good for this nation. Jumping from one party to another, it's a big disgrace.
Like you are drunk.
Thank you.
You're drunk.
Thank you very much, sir. Again, the callers and also the guests and hosts, they already respect each other. And they only get 2 minutes. So we allow them in the 2 minutes that we can come. We get enough time for and elaborate on what they say. But we get the next caller. Couldn't they call out anymore? So they call for please. I'm not saying for the host tonight, but boy, when I'm getting white here already.
Hello, viewers. Mr. Umaro, they call from Switzerland.
Mr. Umaro, yeah, what are you? 2 minutes, sir. Go ahead.
Interesting platform. When we talk about issue, law with the left, they go into history. When you come in terms of history, both SLPP and APC, a bad political party there. You know. So like Sheki was very bad to that country, democratically not in no report. Then the SFP again manipulate the country going to war for things where they not because they want the opposition. So I know a lot about the issues. Just like what that man said. Mr. Sidi, all what thing happen so now una cause them as APC. When una dey that time, una need to listen to people, una just the bulldoze una way in all kind type of form. Now the same thing and they continue so today. The prices where it go up so yesterday and today now the same thing, the same continuation. Because when you check Usai and this microman meet the price of rice and Usai left the price of rice, not be the same. You know, so that the same thing. So una left for the compare on ourselves, una they make ourselves angel. You know, one thing una go for believe in the people. Una go for believe so when a kind in terms of political party, not one man business or not one particular tribe business. But the APC no respect other people in democratic space. Now that make all the time they cry foul because they feel say they forget everything right, other people no matter. Look now what in the happen now. Some people they try to bring the APC together, but yet una go around, they organize some kangaroo election constitution just for ship people out. You know, and the APC no kind of power. The APC no kind of power. Expecting say that only Limba and Timini will be which taking a power. Everybody matter that country. You know, the political party, let's take the to granted. Thank you very much.
You understand what you talk about?
Do you at the day one tonight? No, we just allow.
No, but let the man know. The man they talk, but you don't understand. Which kangaroo convention? That is a court-ordered convention for adopt the constitution.
Yeah, but
you know, let people let the guy and talk on issues.
He said constitution. He did not say convention.
Okay, hold on, guys. What's your
kangaroo convention? Kangaroo constitution.
The same people now.
They don't let Naya. They don't let Naya clear.
And the couple can't say, what you say they go on? These are the circle on sensitizing people, educate them.
I know, Fisher are going to stay up more. You know, it's almost getting to 3 o'clock now.
That's fine. I mean, if you want to let Mr. Tunis, that's fine. We understand that and we respect that. But what to the type of say that as a politician, when I get for meeting people, I say, when I listen to we, and this is our message. Now that they can face the can't say, when I wait at the concern, if I know I listen to them now. But election time as soon as I come to them, this is not going to be fair. So
we listen, but when they also do when somebody say something not correct, for correct time right there.
When I make why you the time so young time is correct the man, educate them. This you get a platform. Not anyone get a perception. Let them get the same perception. This is the opportunity for educating your mass system. You people that say go understand your message.
What the man said was
so they are big. Let me listen. So let me one more caller in there. Come not to now. They want to continue to say that. So let me educate you. Yeah, let me pick out now. Again, I love you. Next caller. Good evening, caller. What time do you say the call from, please?
Yeah, my name is Jeremiah. Yeah, they call from New York. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead. 2 minutes. Yeah.
Okay. I just follow the discussion. I want for talk first to Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas make a presentation where I admire, and I want for say kudos to Atilla. And Mr. Tunis, I don't know which level he be there, where they talk say that the APC come with war. For those Sanko, na incarcerator from where he come on a prison, and from a northern brother. He come out, he go sit down and shake with my evidence, take photo. He get in that depression, na APC be put on a cell. He go Liberia. Now they left where he get in contact with Castillo. So I don't know whether you know the history. I talk to you, me, I work in a special court. I want to let you know. The dynamic I want for there, you know, say, I don't know the level where you be there, where they try to give deceitful information to the people of Sierra Leone for saying that SPP can't war. When APC be in power and for the Sanko, when be incarcerate, APC be incarcerate and spell. That's one. Then the other side, Mr. Tunis, you be ever make a statement where people they go eat na bomb? You know, you see, there are times I don't know whether if they allow you picking for go eat there. Then the other thing, where people they go eat na bomb. You be make any statement about that, then now where did they destroy the transformer there? We not come up for condemn those acts then because the transformer will like go off, not only APC or SLPP they suffer. Now all they suffer. We not come out to make a statement with that. If they talk about when they talk issue with Kamareba they on bail, but the bail condition with the gear, nobody know able come yet for do. Me, I agree with you now. The judiciary are not too much they in support of them because of the day. Because I don't work with them. I'm a human rights activist. I don't work with them. I become more frustrated. So, Mr. Tunis, you get to be very sincere.
Thank you very much, caller. So, Mr. Tunis, I'll give you 2 to 3 minutes now. Then you get the callers in. So, go ahead, sir. You got the floor, sir.
Answer the last caller, see. You know me say because we work in a special court, you know the history of how rebel war starts in this country. Let's go back and investigate the players that will be involved in that rebel war. Who are the key players then, and who are them today, or even some of them we know they today. Which political lineage they get, which political philosophy they get. Yes, you see for the Sanko common at the north, but that is not the case. Go back into the history. Like I say, we're not supposed to like for talk about them things than the Shaka Stevens era. The huge part of her not be even there alive. So I don't need for talk about that. I did talk about an era whose we don't come with democracy, waiting our contributions for impact the lives of the people of this country. You talk about transformer. Why they not teach transformers with APC within our government? Now APC for protect transformer on at the states. Transformer na small thing where they go just go thief easily. So not to just small thing where you go take put on a pocket. It is a huge machine. Wait for thief and it not go easy. People get for see you. So there has to be some form of conspiracy for you able to thief a whole transformer where the community not go know saying a thief. So the government maybe for come out clean and tell the people how the transformers they really they lost. That is in fact if transformers and they lost anyway. If not to excuse because of their inability for provide electricity, whose side the APC don't already be done left improved electricity supply in this country. So we know they just fall for everything because government don't say transformer not to small machine where you go just go thief. We all know it's in our electricity transformer, especially that way they don't install now a whole community for supply lines. You don't go thief easily. The community go see you, the people go see you, and it takes a lot of work for you even dismantle them. So then can excuse that the way government is the key. Some of we would get for investigate some deeper for even see if not true then they talk in the first place. You know, we come here on the premise for discuss when I do, but I see say the whole thing don't shift. You know, towards other topics, towards other issues, fine. Hear about whatever the views are, those are the views. But I know for sure that the APC, when we see under President Anes by Kroma, a lot happened in this country. With
President.
You talk about, I make I say under President Anes by Kroma, he was president then, you know, under him as president. You know, a lot happened in this country. You know, the economy improved no matter what you say.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Attila, 2 to 3 minutes. What now you want to take on the callers?
Yeah, because Mr. Self really, as you know, today Friday, me and a musician, I get a program. I don't be run late, so I might my last comment. But
sure,
Apala just said this year, I don't mean born independence of Salone, but I don't mean say independence is not important to me. So a little bit sound disingenuous for them, Sidi, Aiah, Tunis say because he not being born, or most part of Pasheki, so it's not important. No, it is. All man knows in another Pasheki Salone. Look, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Sierra Leone, who get independence around the same time. Look at those countries today. So he said, oh, Lord, we ignore land. By the way, would that take Salone to one party? Say, not Pasheki. So you got to ignore all those things. It's kind of funny. Then 2 points. 40 was arrested where Mr. Yayah not be made clear too much as suspect for Brigadier John Bangwa, who was killed. The man will even bring Pasheki back after some wrong moves by some army man then for a move and way win the free and fair election in 1967. I was not born there, but I know this by history. It's at Tunis. You understand me? For example, they arrested and locked up 7 years na Pademba Road. When he come on a photograph, he went in Infanta na Kukibi the cell na Sebema. He's from Agboka. I know somebody in Famusa. So you say you know in their life for most of us. So I wonder why he did that premise around. He went there, he had a grudge, and all maybe there before the Sango was start. He was always saying in the first episode, he always said that very clearly. Dogba Usu started when they killed that teacher in Zimi, Patrick Kemokai. The man was run after and killed by people who went and they support FMINA, who APC after using that man, after sending armored personnel carriers, now Pujon for kill thousands of Sierra Leoneans there. What did they do in the end to Mina under Momo? They kill her. So long no go there. So get your facts straight because you say you don't mean born and they so you discard them. Maybe that's why you don't know what really happened. But you need for us to pull them. And also, let me come here. I will never tell you an Escomano do nothing at all. I will never say that. Because that also will sound disingenuous on the part. But our country today, under President Bill, is far better. You they say, I bring to you able to defeat the argument. You say, IMF, World Bank, African Development Bank, Islamic Bank, they all came back only when President Bill come back. You know, why is that the case? If they knew, if they say this president wrong, the whole world leadership not say President Bill do right. I'm telling you, they wouldn't condemn him. I've never had one. And let me just say this to you, Mr. Tunis. APC not go ever win election at this present trend because APC not believe in democracy. They believe in selection instead of election. That's why we see trends like this in the SLPP. Someone put the opposer and I don't listen, I don't talk. And like when a man talk, a kangaroo constitution in Mazeri, man also convention. And it was a kangaroo constitution they went and adopted. Some people were intimidated, they couldn't go there. But that's not for APC for Solman. I'll repeat this clear on air. If APC win election in 2023 or 2024, me, Attila, way, happy forget a visual impairment. I will fly jumbo jet from Salone to America and back. Mark my words, it will never happen. Never. Right. Never ever happen. But I get to say goodbye because I get performance tonight. Right.
That's fine.
But I thank you so much. And Mr. Tunis, this is the day for continuing between me and you. Because I want to convince you to come over. And you from Pujaun, they say na SLP start the Bausu. You might not go to that thing in Puja if you talk on. No, that time you love man, they go vex by you seriously. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you guys very much. Mr. Yapi. Well, that's fine. Mr. Yapi, over to you, sir. No, so we don't get to hear the callers there.
And by the way, Mr. Yapi, get in touch with me. Let's talk.
Okay.
Over to you, Mr. Yapi.
Look, I don't want to go into them man in tussle. I want to respond to the 3 callers.
Sure. That's exactly what you do.
The first one was Mr. Podi. We say the 2 parties that are not good for Sierra Leone. And Mr. Podi, thanks for your views. But I just want to say to you, APC and SLPP, I want to make you ask yourself this question. Who do they represent? Now, who do they own APC and SLPP? Whenever we look at those 2 parties, we look at them as from a distance, we isolate ourselves from them. But let me tell you, APC and SLPP, they're Sierra Leone. Yeah, that's the reality of it. APC and SLPP, they're not Sierra Leone. So if APC and SLPP are not good for Sierra Leone, that means we Sierra Leoneans, we are not good for our own country. We need to change our way of doing things. Because without you and I, APC and SLPP no will govern Sierra Leone. So please, let's try to think deeper. Let we capture these things. APC, SLPP, they represent the interest of Sierra Leone. They represent the views of Sierra Leone. So if we views them on APC and SLPP are really, really negative, we don't value those parties. They're not doing well. They're not representing us. Then we need to that needs to be reflected in how we vote. So until we change, we vote. We shift to vote from those two political parties. We have to recognize that they represent us, you and I. The second caller now, Mr. Umaru. Mr. Umaru, thank you also for your call. You talk about the issues, the way Sierra Leone face, and you say we not for talk about history. Let's not focus on history. Let's focus on now. Let me say this to you, Mr. Umaru, and I'm sure you know that already. Is that history? Then they help. We need to inform what we do today and tomorrow. We learn from history for make sure we prevent the mistakes that we don't happen from history. We learn from history for better with today and tomorrow and set up the tone for a better future. So history, we need for always go back and reflect on things that we don't happen for know the direction where we head. And you talk about APC, they say they put a kangaroo constitution in place. I think that is not a fair description of the constitution. Obviously, the constitution where they don't put forward the new constitution, where they don't put forward, it is detailed. It is in line with with national constitution. It is in line with democratic values and tenets. So it is really well thought out. The only issue when we get with the constitution, number one, are the 5-year clause. So if you come out overseas or you come out anywhere, now Salone, you decide say, okay, APC, I want to use APC as a medium for get to power and transform Sierra Leone. I have all what it takes to transform Sierra Leone. Then they ask you, say, to go wait in the line for 5 years before you become a flag bearer contestant. I feel that is wrong. I feel that is the whole country back. For example, if me and Mr. Taro or me and Auntie Kadi apply for position, even if you know work na VOS for 10 years, me can today apply for a position at VOS where they are above them. If I'm qualified VOS for able employment, you understand? It should not be based on how long I've been in VOS for me to be able to apply for that position. It should be based on what I bring to the table, the experience that I have. You understand? So that make me not agree with that part of it, but all the other part of the constitution of the newly drafted and adopted constitution of APC, it is really, really good, and it ensure democracy reign. And you talk about the issue of disenfranchisement of other members and so on. I think that is the issue of APC. I agree on you on that front. That APC, there is still one go heaven, but no one died in certain aspects. They need to make sure that they stand up for what is right and do what is right by their members and by Sierra Leone. You know, we will take membership out of the list if you really want to bring unity and oneness. And the last caller now with brother Mr. Kevin. Mr. Kevin talks about he thanked myself and brother Atilla for the contribution, but also comment on other issues in terms of transformers being broken, in terms of people eating bome and so on and so forth. Let me say this in terms of transformers being broken. I don't believe saying that APC they do that. I don't believe it is APC that is orchestrating that. The reason why I say this is that, let me tell you, I live within 6 kilometers to the city, in Brisbane. If somebody, I see somebody, they can't break with electric pole. I don't care whether a red or green party in a power. I will take action. You understand? I think my personal responsibility, my community responsibility for stand up for protect their own interests. That is not happening. And all the ignorant people within the grab for destroy national property. This is not to SLPP property. This is not Salone property. The transformers that you're destroying is Sierra Leone people. Is Sierra Leone our property as Sierra Leoneans, which means you SLPPC, SLPPC for CNGC, it belongs to all of us. So destroying national infrastructure just for making political points, it is ignorant at best. And let me say this. When former President Koroma been in power, we revamp the Bumbuna Hydro. A lot of people forget, but I know if I say this, a lot of you remember, viewers. What did happen? When they run the cable line for camp, what did happen? People go cut them cable line for make ports. You understand? That is what happened. Imagine Sierra Leone was the darkest country on earth when you see them from space, where President Bio took over in 2000, President Anes Baikoroma took over in 2007. Sierra Leone was the darkest country on earth. You couldn't see Sierra Leone from space at night. You understand? So the man tried to revamp the Bumbuna Hydro for make sure, see, we have part of Sierra Leone to supply electricity. When they put all, they go loans, lots of money from IMF. They can put pole and cable and take camp. People then they go up them pole and then cut them cable and for make pot, for make buckets and so on. What did President Bio do? The tribal people from Kamakwe and all these other Kabbalah and all of these other parts, then come now Freetown. Then pass a ceremony, say anybody will touch that cable, they die. From that point on, when that happened, this happened in Concentrate, then Waka Tegonas in front of State House, the parade. There was dance, people were calling in all kind of, it was national news. From that 10 days, nobody touched that cable because anybody who didn't touch the cable ended up dying. That is what happened. So I think the government has a responsibility for ensure that national amenities such as those are protected, but we as a community, we also get equal responsibility for safeguarding it. In terms of would I bring war on Sierra Leone, they talk about North and South. This is still color politics. The thing we bring war on Sierra Leone, na inequality, na injustice, disenfranchisement, a lot of frustration with people and feel. All these other people, Fode Sanko and others, they not be get that power for make sure say people and kill each other. They not be map the way we kill each other. Not just people and feel their aggression, their frustration, then discuss through Fode Sanko and others. But they are not the one who pulled the trigger. It is us Sierra Leoneans that treated each other this way. So these are my responses to Mr. Fode, Mr. Umaro, and Mr. Kevin. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Yapi. Over to you, Auntie Kadi. Your own take on. Because the callers them just there.
I don't have much to say on this really because
I know we know they hear you. You might therefore
almost deal with the issues as well.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, what's I mean, just one for before I go to the last word. I believe I was a little bit disappointed in me two brother the wedding count because the reason why me could reach out to them people here, and again for the people who and the system they watch we, this is the reason, and if I way it happens so. We call on us for can talk to people and from on our own party and perspective. Just like what Mr. ARP said, somebody come and say, now this is not your belief. Your own job for sensitize the person, explain to them what now the reality is. This is what's happening, or now this misinformation again, but now the reality is. Una represent empathy. Then to party and the main party of the country, and una representatives. If I said we respect the masses the way elections and I go talk to you. But they ask on a question openly on national forum on a storm out or say what we get things for the about me. Don't tell us this program is a 2-hour program. On a due on a time. Which several council now, but I got a thing for do. I get so much thing for do, but because of the country and also family leader, we take the time and say, oh, so now we talk to them. So again, it's about respecting the people and what you need. No, so we respect the masses that only when it comes to election time or when I want to go into power. But now for that talk to we now when our time is limited. Or people have question or valuable because you don't agree with them. So again, I will continue for reach out to now. But if they come at the platform here, we'd expect much from Mona. And also would expect say the same way they ask people for respect to now, and I do the same thing. And for say again, I want we thank Mona because that time and a late time them for post on our day. But if you don't take the time say they can, you just get for make sure so we they do it for your country, do it for your people. Because most of the propaganda about on social media are because of the statement this year. Or not they come and talk to people. People and get questions or they give wrong information. One of the representatives said, why we can explain to them what they right instead of like going to different arguments, you know, much, or when they come to one within the thing and they address somewhere. But again, we will continue for do what we need for do until we make sure this alone go better, no matter what. We will continue for do what we need for do, continue to go better no matter what. Again, over to you, Mr. ARP. Your last one for family tonight.
look, firstly, I want to say thank you to, it's good for the program be robust. Good for make we get, diverse views and, strong views expressed. I think emotions is part of it and it's good. We've always embraced that. But like you said, it has to be channeled positively. I don't know whether we get because we don't take a long time, but on the issue of the Kaloko audio, I don't know whether that's still
maybe
happening.
Next week. We'll go to next week or something. Me and Tikadi go talk behind the scene, then we'll jump on that.
Oh, all right. So, but by and large, I just want to say thank you to everybody. We don't watch this program. Thank you to all of the moderators and the ones that were in the background. My brother Abdul, it's really good to reconnect today. It's been ages. It shouldn't be this long. And CEO, Mr. Taroli, thank you so much. Auntie Kadi, do not that commentary you make for say, this is not the last one. This I hope say that a mistake because this not going to be the last one. We want you here now, VOS. You're doing incredible work at VOS, and VOS is a family. I've been there for years. It's a family, and we always keep family together. We get issues and we come up, but we're a big family, and I hope that you continue for play your role where you play. Thanks to Mr. Atilla for his contribution, and equally thanks to my brother Tunis, Mr. Tunis for your contributions, and thanks to you viewers and listeners and contributors. I will read all the comments and response to those that are worth responding to. But thank you very much. I believe that we're all working together. We will share ideas. Some of us don't come on this platform for can show what we know, but now for able to share ideas, that we're all able to share ideas and find common ground. So thank you so very much for having me.
Thank you very much. It's a privilege to have you, and we are really appreciate you when you answer your question. Come over to you, Auntie Kadi.
Yeah, Mr. Thomas, yes. Thank you, sir, for your time.
Since you will only from
make I just make it clear here. I'm still part of VOS. I'm not going to leave the family. It's just that I go back to the role as guest commentator rather than host. No. Because the reason being is that I'm able to see things and say my opinion. Because since with VOS, I shouldn't say my opinion, which is odd because normally you can be a host in all televisions we've been seeing. You have your opinion. If your guest says things that you don't agree with, you can say your opinion. There's no hard and fast rule that says that because you're the host, for say your opinion. I can understand when you are a chair of an organization, you want to observe decorum, but even then, when term reach, you will talk. We'll talk past everybody. But to say that you cannot voice your opinion, it's on that basis I said I will be part of the family, but not as host. When we not a host step anyway, now because material that not they make, at the help Mr. Tarali. Now that's making always be on your side. The side where you did Mr. Thomas, but they making they already, you see. So basically, yes, so that I still be part of the family anyway. You get me? You see, so I want to thank everybody for waiting, all the callers that we call, you see. I thank them all. You get me? When you did that kind of program there, you can forget thick skin. You get me? Yes. You can forget thick skin because support everybody. You get me? You see, so today, sometimes the people they will support you today, tomorrow, you will say something where they may support you this week, but next week they don't support you because you say something they don't know. You see, so this is what makes the difference when we're there. You see, so I can assure you, I will be part of the family, but not as a host because I like myself like for letting you give me opinion. You get me? You see, I know we can't see no more for the listen no more. Listen no more. Something that was strong. I want to say something that I can't. You see, then I would rather be on your side. Go back to where I was. Basically, that's it. You see. But yes, coming back to this, you see, I don't know. Yeah, Mr. Thomas may not want to appear again because I don't appear this week. But we have a gentleman when they come on, Mikhail Ukoma, going on next week. You get me? Then we can discuss this Kaloko letter and maybe other things will not happen. We don't hear from the court about this election and too many things will not happen anyway. You see, so now just one person who will know say they appear next week, Mikhail Ukoroma. I don't know, Mr.
like I said, we go talk about that behind the scene, depending on how the week they go. Yeah, almost always but yeah, but no worry. That man did that. I might have to sleep. I don't know for being that man. But yeah, but we go work on that behind the scene. We got so many things to go on. Go ahead and finish it up because sorry about it. Go ahead and finish it out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I finished. Except I want to say bye-bye. Goodbye to everybody. I finished.
Okay. I just want to tell you, guess what? Thank you, Mr. Peter Thomas, my brother. We must need to go behind the scene most of the time. So again, thank you to Mr. Yayah Tunis, we the spokesman for APC party, and also my brother, Mr. Attilla. We all say we got to controversy, man. You ready for the before, not the freedom. And I think I will say once. So if made a come there, even though hotel suggests now, but they say on the same token, I would gladly wait and accept the request and take the time out of the business schedule for come. And we will continue for the reach out there when we get issues then. When we expect, say, we as people in the congregation, we get to get a job, we get a duty. We duty that for be a liaison between we fumble them and the politicians then. When we get to what we know, say, clear, we bring them coming. We will send requests. If they don't come, then we will do your research and see what they say. But I'm not going to turn around and say, I'm not reach out to you or not be fair to you. Now we make sure we make say pass out the chair and tell you what thing go on. But again, we tell on our thank you, and as we move forward, we know say we could continue for the reach out to owner for like will come in and sensitize we and also talk to people because most of the people are on the fence. They don't know which type of belief or background don't too much. We need owner for come in so that we all will answer the tough questions. People will shoot on the tough question owner, answer them so that they will get well informed. For now, we choose the right leader in our salon. For move forward, we get to make sure so we're well informed and know who are the right person. For now, we do that, we have to do them kind of dialogue here and face the tough questions then. I want to say thanks to all viewers and listeners and the co-hosts. We take a vex, we don't play market on some calls, not a big thing. I left me at the Karinoma, Antika Cobra. Again, we viewers and listeners, we call us all around you. They don't say they want for me, they have to steal you. We call us them in listeners all around the world without a thank you. They continue for saying without there is no VOS. So this platform now on our platform, we on job now we can work for and work for Sierra Leone. Then follow we on YouTube. We changed the view then Voice of Salone television to Voice of Salone network. They brought an also at an early morning down below and it's still there for and also from here they go back on social media for Scatteram again. But again, I tell you all thank you with technical team and everybody where they work hard behind the scenes for make sure we cover the program that we tell now thank you with the people leaders in back home. May God protect them and give them the wisdom and understanding to make push Salone forward because again, we're not got time for saying for spare. Everything will be critical. So instead of we curse them, Lord, we bless them. They're gonna make them do the right thing for you all. May God bless you all and good night, everybody. Enjoy your night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. It was a pleasure.